the game, it's about time. This is my time, this is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time now, I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time now, I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Listen, it is Friday. This is the last day of the typical work week. I hope everybody had a good week. I hope everybody's been blessed this week. I hope that you get ready to go into a really good weekend. I know it's Friday. Everybody want to relax. But sometimes on a Friday when you're so worn out and you can't wait for the weekend, that's when it's always best to go your hardest. That's when all your hard work is even more recognized. So I'm speaking good energy into everybody's spirit today, to where you can operate in a state of perfection. And I'm asking God to make sure that he walks with every single one of us as we go on our journey today, making ourselves better people and working towards having better lives. All right. And God asks that you look over everybody that watches these streams. And actually, God, look over the world. Look over those who really need help. Find ways to, move into their direction to give them the relief and help that they need, especially in these hard times with, economic downfalls and people trying to struggle to take care of their families. We ask for favor. In your son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. 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 Everybody, I hope everything is good coming your way. Man, oh man. This is game week. Your boy out here making all kind of crazy bets. Talk about our wear Buffalo shirt for a week if we lose and all type of stuff. Oh my gosh, man. But we here. We here, okay? And we ain't backing down from nobody. We are not backing down from anyone. We got our NFL weekly predictions. We're going to go through the league, talk about who's going to win, who's going to lose, how things are looking around the league, the big matchups. And we're going to also talk about who will lead the AFC East after week 3. Who will lead the AFC East after week 3? And that's obviously going to be between Buffalo and the Miami Dolphins. And also, we want to talk about it real quick because I introduced this to you all throughout the week. But our official morning show sponsor is Mojo. If you don't know what Mojo is, and this is the first time you're hearing of it, it is an amazing application that is now running. Anybody can download it. You can download Mojo, but it is live in New Jersey right now. So if you are in New Jersey, make sure that you download the app. Take advantage of the opportunity that you have. And from my understanding, I was told that they're looking into expansion now, and I hope Florida's on the way, man. I really hope Florida's on the way because it is an interactive stock market for players, okay? And we've already gone through this throughout the week, but guys, I wanted to talk to you all real quick about a few people that are very obvious in the stock market that you need to consider. Nick Chubb is just a beast. You saw what he did last night. His stock is up 1.5%, and I believe it's going to continue to rise because every week he is having success so far. But I want you to notice something: whose stock is up and he didn't even play the game. Do you see whose stock is up and they didn't even play the game? Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's stock is up right now, 8.28%, and he didn't even play the game. Why is that? Because Mitchell Trubisky looked bad. And at some point, Mike Tomlinson over there in Pittsburgh, he is going to have to make a decision and potentially go ahead and start his rookie, Kenny Pickett, because at the end of the day, you cannot afford to keep losing with Mitchell Trubisky. So Kenny Pickett's stock is rising due to the downfall of Mitchell Trubisky, because obviously this kid is going to get a shot soon. And man, I would say this, man, Kenny Pickett, you never know what he'll turn out to be. So this is an opportunity to buy low, because next thing you know, this kid could end up thrusting into the 20s and the $30 range, and those are huge gains. So if I were you, I would look into Kenny Pickett. If you're in Jersey right now and you could actually invest in the market, Kenny Pickett is it's a high risk, of course, but it's also high reward. But at some point, he's going to play. I mean, so at the end of the day, that's one that really I took notice. I also wanted to talk real quick about your boy Josh Allen and Tua Tagovailoa. Josh Allen, I really think that, I mean, people think I'm just being a homer, but I think he's going to have a bad game versus the Dolphins. I think that he's going to struggle versus the Dolphins. And the reason why I bring that up, this might be an opportunity, one of the rare opportunities, because the stock is always up. But it's going to be a rare opportunity to potentially, buy, basically, just buy Josh Allen stock, because I think it's going to go down. Buy the stock that it'll fall, though. Invest that it'll fall. Short it pretty much. But then when you go down to Tua Tagovailoa, I am telling y'all, this kid, if I were you, this stock, I'm telling y'all, if this kid keep on this trajectory, he might end up in the 60s at the end of the year. I mean, that might be an opportunity to double your investment. I mean, if he continues on this trajectory, because I already know he's going to have a great year. He's going to put the stats up. He's going to have the numbers to show for it. And that stock, I believe, is definitely going to rise. And I'm keeping my eye on Tua, because as we're talking about it now, these are the $33 days. But man, I could see it months from now where this stock literally takes off, because he has the weapons now and he's going to look great, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, go download the app Mojo. The link is in the description of the video. Even if you're not in New Jersey, go download it so that you can look at the risers and fallers on a day-to-day and weekly basis. And that way, whenever expansion happens, and if it does come in Miami, or in, like, because majority of our viewers are in Florida, but we have a lot of New Jersey viewers. But once it comes to Florida, you'll already have a leg up on what you need to do. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Mojo, our official morning sponsor. Amazing app, amazing opportunity to invest in your favorite players. All right. All right. And speaking of favorite players, I also wanted to ask everyone, who is your favorite player on the Miami Dolphins? Put it in the comment section, okay? Who is your favorite player on the Miami Dolphins? Go ahead and place that in the comment section. Let me know, because I'm just interested in trying to see where everyone is on that. Let me give y'all 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Put it in the comment section. Who is your favorite player? All right, here we go. They're coming in. They're coming in. Okay, so favorite players on the Miami Dolphins. Let's see what we got. Tyreek Hill, Christian Wilkins, Waddle. Love his energy. Zyler, Holland, Waddle. Just one player. That's difficult. Just one. Xavier Howard, Javon Holland. Man, I'm shocked. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm shocked. Let me ask y'all something. If I ask other teams, if I ask you, the fan base of the Kansas City Chiefs, the fan base of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the fan base of the Buffalo Bills, the fan base of Arizona Cardinals, the fan base of Baltimore Ravens, the fan base of, I could just keep on naming, the fan base of Green Bay Packers, the fan base of the Denver Broncos, the fan base of, like, if I just add the fan base of the Chargers, the fan base of the Bengals, the fan base, if I asked those fans who their favorite player was on the team, what position do you think most people would name in other fan bases? What position do you think other fans would name for their team? What position? Exactly, the quarterback. And I just sat here and asked y'all who our favorite player is in Miami, and I had about 30 answers, and one of them said Tua. One of them said Tua. We got to change that. Like what we saw against Baltimore was electric at the end of the game. It was electric. You're blurry, TD. Oh, I'm clear now. You might want to go to your YouTube settings and go to 1080p because I am live in 1080p right now, so I should be clear. We should be good, but we got to change that. We have to change that. Like quarterbacks lead the way. Quarterbacks lead the way. And the reason why everybody went just crazy about the Baltimore performance, because it was the first time that you ever saw Tua like put up exciting stats and exciting moments. And the truth is, a lot of the throws still weren't like what we call big boy throws. I mean, early in the game and stuff like that, you saw a few big boy throws, but the deep throws, the Tyreek weren't to me big boy throws. And people need to understand what is a big boy throw. It's like it's not just making the throw sometimes because we know Tyreek slowed down, turned around to catch the balls, had to wait on him. The big boy throw is like when you catch your quarterback making a throw where the defender is literally close to the offensive player, the ball has to be in a specific perfect spot deep down the field, and it's like just right, like the defender's trying to stop the ball and the defender just can't get to it. It's like big boy throws. Remember Herbert when he got hurt his ribs, that throw over the middle? Big boy throws, I got to be honest. The reality is Tua just doesn't excite. Tua doesn't excite anyone on the field. It doesn't mean he can't be successful in the NFL. It doesn't mean he can't help us win. It doesn't even mean he can't be a Hall of Famer one day. All of these things, it doesn't mean that. But the thing that we all realize with Tua, and I think this is why most people are so down on him sometimes, even in a good game, is because it's not even exciting or electric watching him. And I'm one of those individuals where I don't need it exciting and electric. I just need wins, but it definitely helps. It like feels good to know that, my quarterback can make any throw, every throw, big boy throws, will attempt them and everything, you know? And that's where a lot of people, get frustrated because there's no oohs and ahs. There's more like, oh my gosh, yes, thank you. That happened. Almost like we feel like almost like a built-in luck. Like, oh yes, we got a wide open guy and we hit him. Touchdown. Um, so that's just the reality. But what I need people to understand, because I had a conversation with somebody about this last night, and they were going on about why they don't like Tua. And at the end of the day, I broke it down. I kept asking questions to see if it was personal or what it was. And the conclusion that I got was he's just not exciting. And most people want the quarterback to be exciting. And it made me want to talk about it this morning because Dolphin fans, we have to realize at the end of the day, if the end goal is to win, it's not going to always be exciting. You're not going to always have the dog of all dogs back there at quarterback. Like think about it. This is all the exciting, sexy quarterback stuff. They at the line of scrimmage. Go. Check that. Like they doing all of you like, they dialing up something. And then when the play go, it's like, wow. Like, for us, it's just send a guy in motion, maybe a point here and there. Hike, which one? Oh, that one. So I get it. But the goal at the end of the day is to win games. The goal at the end of the day is to win games. I just get nervous because all I can think about is Jimmy G. Like, can Mike McDaniel be the guy that breaks through the mold where this type of system can win games, but it never can win the big game? Does that make sense? Like, this system can win games, but it never can win the big game. But this system also never had Tyreek and Waddle in it. It's had like Matt Ryan was in the system. He had the Julios and things like that. But, and Matt Ryan in his prime, in my opinion, is better than Tua right now. But I don't know if that'll be the long-term situation. But can this offense win and sustain over the next 2 years where you could actually win a Super Bowl? And that's the biggest concern because we're about to get our first grand preview versus the Buffalo Bills of what we are and what this system can do in the NFL. What we are and what this system can do in the NFL. And on top of it, we're not even executing the system to its fullest potential because you want to run the ball in this system, and we're more pass heavy now because we can't run the ball because we don't have the offensive line personnel to do so. And that's just the reality. We could break off a little speed rush around the corner here and there, but consistently rushing the ball. Like, did you see the Browns last night? Did you see how Kareem Hunt and Chubb gets the ball and it's like easy 10 up the middle, not just trying to race to the outside, but up the middle because of the line and the patience with the backs and their skill levels. Just like these guys, like last night, you saw the difference between great backs and good backs. Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, good backs. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, great backs. You saw the difference last night. Chubb got me 17.3. Your boy Amari Cooper got me over 20 with Jacoby Brisket. And Jacoby Brisket looked good last night. The stats was still like 220, but Jacoby was playing some good football. See, boy, let me tell y'all something. This team is simply we were and always was a product of what was around. Jacoby looked real good last night. Jacoby commanded that offense, made big time throws. I mean, Jacoby would have had 300 had Amari Cooper not stepped out of bounds on one play where he went like 70 yards down the field. He had stepped out of bounds right when he was trying to catch it. But Jacoby looked good last night, and that's interesting to me. Everybody, oh, Jacoby, I can't believe how bad he was. Y'all got to understand, this team was built to run Tua's system, and when Jacoby came in, they switched to a whole nother system. They didn't run an RPO with Jacoby, and the team barely practiced the pro-style system that we ran with Jacoby. TD, did you see Jacoby Brisket QB sneak? Yeah, both of them. And I always told y'all that's why we put him in on fourth down here in Miami. That's always why we had him in, because he's a big guy who can get the first down. And remember last year where we did a 4th and 1 and we play action and went deep and we just missed the receiver? Last night they did it and he hit the receiver. So at the end of the day, man, everybody want to talk trash about Jacoby Brissett to uplift other people. But Jacoby is 2-1 right now. Jacoby is 2-1 right now. And I keep telling, I was hoping that Pittsburgh won because I know Pittsburgh's going to struggle all year. And I was hoping they won that game because what people need to realize is the Browns, by the time Deshaun Watson gets back, you don't want them to be 7-5. You don't want them to be 8-4. And if you go look at their schedule, they like the next 5 games are cakewalks. They're like cakewalks. So Cleveland, man, if they end up 8-4 with 5 games left, and all they got to do is go 3-2 with Watson, they're getting in the playoffs. They'll be getting in the playoffs. And so that's very interesting to me. Speaking about that, I wanted to go around the league and talk about where teams stand right now. And just in the AFC primarily, because that's where it's relevant for us. The Cleveland Browns are leading their division, by the way. The Cleveland Browns are number 1 in the division ahead of Baltimore. Even if Baltimore wins this week, Cleveland's ahead of them. They're up on their division right now. And then when you look at their schedule, they play the Atlanta Falcons. They got to play the Chargers. They play the Patriots. They play the Ravens, well, divisional. Bengals, Dolphins, Buffalo. Buccaneers, Texans, Bengals, Ravens, Saints, Washington, Pittsburgh. And here's what's interesting. Look at their last 3 games to end the season. Saints, Washington, Pittsburgh. This is why you don't want a team like that hanging around, because their last 3 games, Saints, Washington, Pittsburgh. When it's playoff implications on the line, and you got to win out, just think about them having to win out. Saints, Washington, Pittsburgh. So that's very interesting to me. But Baltimore, once again, they play the Patriots this weekend. And that game also is going to be very interesting because the winner of that game pretty much jumps themselves up there, and the loser falls mightily. Pittsburgh, I think they'll struggle all season. And the Bengals, come on, y'all. At some point, everybody expects them to turn it around. It's just a matter of when does that turnaround occur? Because this week they play the Jets, and this is a good week to make that turnaround. But I also want to say this. If the Jets figure out a way to win that game, we need to start looking at the freaking Jets and not be sleeping on them, because the Jets out here playing everybody tough and making plays, but their offense isn't doing enough. But they did get their first victory. The Jets are a team that's going to kill a lot of people's hopes this year with those random wins. So it's going to be very interesting. All right. And that's the AFC North right now. The Browns in control with Baltimore right there on their tail. And we'll see how it ends up. And remember, that Browns-Pittsburgh game last night was a divisional game. So Cleveland's already up in the division. So that's why they're still ahead of the Ravens, even if the Ravens win. Now, going to the AFC South, this is the real kicker right here. The AFC South is going to be that. See, this is what I hate. The AFC South is going to be like the NFC East last year. Like you could get in the playoffs winning 8 games. This is going to be the only division that I believe the division winner will win like 8 games. 8 games. Right now, the division winner is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are leading their division. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they played the Chargers this week, which once again could knock them right back down. And by the way, that's an easy, possibly an easy win for the Chargers. But then you got the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts, both tied with half a win and half a loss. And the Tennessee Titans are literally 0-2. But the Titans play the Raiders, so they got even another tough test this weekend for them. But going back to the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts, the Texans this week, they play the Bears, which is going to be a very comparable game. Any team could win that. And then the Indianapolis Colts, they go into this weekend and they have to face the Chiefs, which could be another loss. So it's amazing to me. That division right there is just a train wreck, in my opinion. Just an absolute train wreck. And I think every team in the division might lose this weekend. Every team in the division might lose this weekend, and they'll still only have one team with one win, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's crazy, man. A team with 8 wins gets in, or 9 wins. But that's going to be the AFC South this year. Now, moving along to the AFC West, with everybody, the teams that everybody feel are the big dogs, right? We know Kansas City right now 2-0. They play the Colts. Look for them to go 3-0. Look for them to go 3-0 easily. Then you got the Los Angeles Chargers 1-1. Now they'll be 2-1 as they face the Jaguars. If Herbert plays, right? If Herbert plays, which they looking to hopefully have him play through the rib injury. And then you got the Denver Broncos, who just terrible execution in week 1 versus Seattle, but they beat the Texans. Now they got to deal with the 49ers. And they could end up winning that game as well. I hope they win that game because we got the 49ers draft pick. So I'm down for that. We'll see. And lastly, in that division, you got the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this team is interesting. Already taking a loss to the Chargers, already taking a loss to the Cardinals. Now they got the Tennessee Titans. This game right here is going to be very interesting. Both teams are 0-2. Both teams are 0-2, and I don't see the Raiders pass rush doing what Buffalo pass rush did. And this is going to be real interesting. The Raiders could get their first win, but if they give it to Tennessee, that is bad for the Raiders. They are like going backwards. They would be going backwards at this point if that happens. Right? And we kind of already talked about our division. We play the Buffalo Bills this week. But like I said, you got to look out for the Jets. They do have the Bengals. Then they got Pittsburgh. Then they got Miami. I mean, they got a stretch where they feel like they could win one or two of those games, and I don't know in which order. I just know the Dolphins can't lose to the Jets. They cannot lose to the Jets. That would be unacceptable. But putting up 31 points versus the Browns, I got to tell you, man, that was highly impressive. They had their own version of a comeback like us. You know, they were down like 30-14 at one point or something like that. And they had their own version of a comeback in this game. So the Jets, you know, they're starting to pick it up. I mean, when you look at it, Flacco's putting up 300 plus yards every game, and nobody's talking about that. They throw the ball a lot, but Flacco's number 3 in the NFL in passing yards, behind Tua by 2 slots. Flacco put up 4 touchdowns on Cleveland, and Cleveland's defense is good. You saw that last night. Their defense is really good, and Flacco put up 4 touchdowns on them. 4. So it's gonna be real interesting just to see how this it'll be interesting to see what the Jets do this weekend. But I think the Jets, if they get 2 more miracle wins, they're gonna be fighting for a playoff spot, y'all. If the Jets can continue on this level of play, they may be fighting for a playoff spot. And I want you to think about this, because the Jets did get better. If the Bengals are really that bad and the Jets win and they go 2-1, I believe they'll beat Pittsburgh and go 3-1. They'll lose to Miami 3-2, lose to Green Bay 3-3, lose to Denver 3-4, and I think that they will actually beat the Patriots and go 4-4. Lose the Buffalo 4-5, beat the Patriots again 5-5, beat the Bears 6-5, lose the Minnesota 6-6, lose the Buffalo 6-7, beat the Lions 7-7, beat the Jags 8-7. Seattle and the Dolphins, they can get 9 or 10 wins this year if they get one of these miraculous victories. I just know the Dolphins can't lose to no Jets, because Zach Wilson will be back, and they're just raving about how much better they're going to be once he's back. And is he back versus the Dolphins, y'all? Is he back versus the Dolphins? I think week 5 or something. It might be the Dolphins. Boy, we don't want no surprises. We don't want any surprises at all. No surprises. They held Baltimore to 24. They did better on defense with Baltimore than us. And that was without the kick return. So the Jets, you gotta look out for. Now I want to look at Buffalo real quick. Buffalo, after this game, hopefully they take this L. But y'all gotta look at Buffalo's schedule. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, Buffalo's gonna have a fight every week. They got to fight with the Dolphins this week. They got to fight with Baltimore next week. Then they got to deal with the Steelers, who can be tricky. They should win that, though. They got to fight with the Chiefs. We don't have the Chiefs this year. They got to fight with Green Bay. Then they got the Jets, and then they got to fight with the Vikings. They got to fight with the Browns. Let me see. Oh, that's the week. See, 2 weeks before Watson get there. They got to deal with the Browns, then the Lions, then the Patriots again. The Jets, Dolphins, Chicago, Bengals, Patriots. I ain't gonna lie, Buffalo has an easy back end of the schedule. Easy. Look at it this way. Patriots, Chicago, Jets, Patriots, Lions, Browns without Watson. That's 6 games out of their last 8 that, to me, they're gonna win. The only 2 I didn't count were the Bengals and the Dolphins. And they might win one of those. Maybe 2. I don't know. It just depends on what we do this weekend. So it's going to be real interesting. But the Bills got it easy on the back end. Their roughest stretch is the next 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Their roughest stretch is the next 5 weeks. Their roughest stretch is the next 5 weeks, and then it's coasting from that point on for Buffalo. So if they're gonna take a loss, they need to start taking them right now. But I got to be honest with y'all. If Miami can't beat Buffalo this year, Buffalo winning 15 games at a minimum. If we can't beat them this year, they're going to win 15 games at a minimum. I only see them losing 2 games on this schedule. And that's even, and let me say this too, that's even if we have success this year, we won't win the division if we don't beat them. We can't win a division if we don't beat them. We will not win a division if we don't beat them. And even if we beat them, we got to be perfect for the rest of the year still to win it. So we would be a wild card team. We would be a wild card team fighting for one of those 3 spots between all those other teams. And another team that this is why I tell y'all, don't sleep on them because they sneaky. Every year. That's why they made the playoffs last year, even though we swept them. How we sweep them and they make the playoffs and we don't. And it's the Patriots. And if you look at their schedule, they lucked out again this year. Look at this. They're 1-1 right now. And I'm telling y'all, something telling me they're going to beat Baltimore. But we'll see because they always beat Baltimore. No matter what, they always beat Baltimore. But if they go 2-1, they lose to Green Bay and they're 2-2. They lose to the Lions, they're 2-3 because I'm giving the Lions a little respect right now. They beat the Browns 3-3, beat Chicago 4-3, beat the Jets 5-3, beat the Colts 6-3, beat the Jets 7-3. And they got a gauntlet on the back end. Well, I think they'll pretty much be 8-3. And that's if they lose to the Lions, but technically I think they'll beat them too. It would be real bad if the Patriots end up 9-2 with 6 weeks left. Only taking a loss to the Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. But beating the Lions, beating the Ravens, beating the Browns, beating Chicago, beating the Jets, beating the Colts, beating the Jets again. 9-2 with 6 weeks left, and all they need to do is go 2-4, 11 wins to make the playoffs. But in those last 6 games, this is what they would have to deal with. They got Buffalo twice. That's 2 losses. They got Arizona, loss. Raiders, loss. Bengals, loss. And Dolphins, loss. They might go 0-6 to end the season. Unless they beat Buffalo like they did last year in a rainy, cold game. Unless they beat the Raiders because the Raiders playing bad football. Unless they beat the Cardinals, which is possible. And we sure better not let them beat us. Unless they beat the Bengals because the Bengals tripping. We'll see. New England is not beating the Ravens. I actually say that every year, but they end up doing it. I don't know what it is about New England and the Ravens, but New England always plays them well. Always. I don't know what it is about them, but for some reason they always have their number. Always. But we'll see. But after week 3, we get a better gauge of where all these teams are, who's starting to separate a little, who's really concerning. We'll find that out in week 3. Must-win situations. The Cincinnati Bengals are in a must-win situation. The Tennessee Titans are in a must-win situation. The Las Vegas Raiders are in a must-win situation. You have three teams that are in a must-win situation, or there is room for major concern. There is room for major concern. Big time. Now, one team that has been very interesting, in my opinion, as well, that you got to look out for is the Jacksonville Jaguars, beating the Colts 24-0 last week and beating Washington the week before. It'll be interesting to see. Wait, hold on. They actually lost to them the week before. But they're interesting because they have a point differential third in the AFC. Kansas City is number 2, and Buffalo is number 1. Buffalo number 1, Kansas City number 2, the Jacksonville Jaguars number 3, and the Dolphins are number 4 in point differential in a positive way. The Tennessee Titans have the biggest negative point differential, negative 35. The Colts have negative 24, and the Jets have negative 14. And lastly, the Pittsburgh Steelers have negative 12. So that's what you got in the AFC. I'm not going to go over the NFC. I don't really have much implications for that. But games to watch this weekend, we already know that the Dolphins play at 1 o'clock, okay? But if you want to tune in to any other games to like check in, you want to check into that Raiders-Titans game because I think you would more so want to root for the Titans because they'll probably have a better chance to win their division than the Raiders. And the reason why I say that is because if the Titans win a division, it'll be with a low record, so you won't have to worry about the other 3 teams beating you in the playoffs for a wild card if that ends up being it. But the Raiders, if they win, they got a better chance, even if they don't win their division, of still making the playoffs. So I would rather the Titans win that game. When it comes to Kansas City and the Colts, no doubt you rather the Colts win, but it ain't going to happen. So Kansas City take off and continue to hold the Colts down so that everybody in that division, Tennessee, Colts, Houston, all of them, they got a low record. Okay? Us, of course, we want to win. Baltimore, New England. Baltimore, New England. Which team is more beneficial for us if they win? See, Baltimore's in that division. Bengals are struggling. Cleveland. Hey, who do we want to win? New England or Baltimore? I'm going to be honest. You want New England to win. Let me explain why. First of all, we're not scared of New England. We own them now. We're not worried about them. And they have a gauntlet of 6 games straight at the end of the season. So it's less likely for them to get in the playoffs. But the reason why you want New England to win is because Baltimore, see, Cleveland's doing well without a great quarterback. And if they keep winning games, they might actually even win the division. They're leading the division now. They might even win the division. But Baltimore might win it too. And the problem is you got too many people that can end, too many teams in that division that could end up with 10, 11, 12 wins. Cleveland could end up with up to 12 wins. Baltimore can end up with up to 12 wins. If the Bengals get their act together, they could still end up with a high win count. There's too many teams over there that could end up with 10 or more wins, and then that makes it harder for us at the end of the season if we're fighting to get in. So you actually want Baltimore to lose. Patriots are less of a concern. They got to deal with Buffalo twice. See, Baltimore has the capability of beating the Bengals, beating the Browns, beating Pittsburgh. That's why you want them to lose. The Patriots, it's not likely for them to beat the Bills. It's not likely for them to beat Miami at this point. They might even split with the Jets for all we know. So that's why you want the Patriots to win this game. So, yeah, that's why I'm at with it. I prefer New England winning. That's a positive for us. Then you got the Bengals Jets, another one. I would love for the Jets to shock everybody and beat the Bengals. Hold the Bengals down. Perfect example of what I just said with New England and the Ravens. Keep those teams that should make the playoffs down. So that at the end of the day, when it's fighting to get into the wild card, if that's what we deal with, we got the leg up. Jaguars, Chargers. Of course, Chargers have a better shot at making it, so you want the Jaguars to win, but you also don't want the Jaguars to be a momentum team that's wow, they might make the playoffs. But still, you take the odds on it. You want the Jaguars to beat the Chargers all day. Then you got the Broncos, San Francisco. I want the Broncos to win because I want my draft pick next year to be as best as possible. But I ain't worried about the draft pick. I want San Francisco to beat the Broncos for the same reason. It's more beneficial for us to do something special this year. So I hope the San Francisco 49ers can beat the Broncos. And that's your AFC matchups this week. And that's how I want it to go down. I think it'll take Watson 2 more years before he plays well. It ain't going to be long. It ain't going to be long. It may be a little rough, but it ain't going to. I don't think it'll be long. I really don't. And then when he comes back, I think it's week 12. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. So he comes back. When does he play? The Texans. So he's going to play 6 games. He's going to come back, get his feet wet with the Texans. They'll win. Then he got the Bengals. That's going to be nice. Then he got the Ravens. That's going to be a nice game. They should beat the Saints, beat Washington, and beat Pittsburgh. So worst case scenario, he'll come back, give them 4-2. And if he beat the Ravens and the Bengals or one of them, either way, I think when he comes back, he's going to go 4-2. 4-2. Easy. I think he comes back. First week he'll play as the Texans, if I'm not mistaken. He'll play versus the Texans. And he'll go 4-2 to end the season. So what does that mean? They got to figure out a way to go 7-4 or something like this. 7-5? No, 7-4. They got to figure out a way to go 7-4. Before he comes back. They in a good position. They 2-1. So now they got to go 5-3. They need to figure out a way to go 5-3 until he gets back. Atlanta Falcons is next week. That's 1-0. Chargers 1-1. Patriots 2-1. Ravens 2-2. Bengals 2-3. Dolphins 2-4. Bills 2-5. They may not do it. They may not do it. It's tough for them early on. But we'll see, because they've been shocking some people. And I know they kicking themselves over that Jets loss, being up by 14 and giving up that onside kick and stuff, because technically everybody knows they should be 3-0 right now. They should be 3-0 right now. So I know they're kicking themselves. Lions Eagles are so fun to watch this season. I ain't seen none of the Lions games, man, and everybody's saying the Lions are the real deal. Everybody's saying the Lions are the real deal, and I ain't seen no Lions, none of the Lions none of those two Lions games. And they 1-1. They lost to the Eagles 38-35, but they put up 35. So I know they been putting up points. And then versus Washington, they put up 36. So they putting points up. I mean, what? They got 70 points, 71 points. They put up more points than us. But they also ain't playing defense, though. I mean, they got a good defense, too. But they ain't playing the best defense to be giving up all. Well, they played the Eagles. The Eagles are legit. The Eagles are a legit team this year. People sleep on that Eagles team, and I don't know why they looking at a freaking preseason with the Dolphins as if that is the end all be. The Eagles put up 38-35 on the Lions, 24-7 versus the Vikings. Now they finna play Washington, Jags, and they got fairly an easy schedule too. But the Eagles are loaded. They are loaded. And people think that they were trash when they sat 40 players in a preseason game. We'll see, though. Maybe it's a rematch in the Super Bowl, Dolphins-Eagles. Maybe. We'll see. Anywho, man, but it's going to be interesting. I think that by week 6, we'll start identifying teams that are in a good position to win or even win their division and those who are not. And don't forget, you also got injuries and different things like that could take place. Hopefully Dolphins continue to be okay in the injury category. Ours started before the season, but we're surviving regardless. And hopefully we doesn't do anything but get better. I'm really worried about Teron Armstead. You know, we need him to be really healthy. And he's playing well, but we're going to keep our eyes on that situation. But time will tell at the end of the day when it's all said and done. Who's going to lead the AFC East after this week? The odds tell you Buffalo. Conventional wisdom tell you Buffalo will win this game. They'll do what they do. But it's something about this year, man, that's special. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on the Dolphins this weekend. Any given Sunday, we come out with the right game plan, we can win. It reminds me of last year. I keep telling people this. In the fourth quarter last year, the score was 10-3. The score was 10-3 last year in the fourth quarter. And they went on to blow us out because our defense just got tired of defending the house and the offense not helping. But it was 10-3 in the fourth quarter. Now I hope we got the offense that can make that difference. I really hope so. All right, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. Got some stuff to take care of this morning. I appreciate y'all love and support. At 12 noon on Sunday, I will be appearing on Bleacher Report once again. At 12 noon on Sunday, I will be appearing on Bleacher Report again for the pregame show. I will have my own 30-minute show segment on the Bleacher Report again. So make sure, and I'll try to drop the link right before. So we're going to be moving fast Sunday, okay? 12 o'clock to 12:30, I'll be live on Bleacher Report representing. And then 12:35 to about 12:55, we got our pregame show. Real quick, get in here, make our prize picks, and do some other things, and talk about the game. And then at 1 o'clock, we're firing up the live stream for the game. So we got a lot to get done. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. This is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. And God bless y'all. Y'all have a great day, all right? Stay blessed. Peace. I'm out.